Etsy quietly shipped something in March of 6 that should terrify every keyword tool. Real buyer search volume straight from Etsy, 15 free lookups a week, which means for the first time ever, we can fact check Everbee. This video is for Etsy sellers who aren't technical, have ever paid for a keyword tool or almost did, and just want to know what buyers are actually typing into that search bar. You don't need to know code. We just need to walk through what your options are. In my last video, I showed you how to replace Everbee. And every time I've thought about Everbee, the one question that keeps popping up in my mind is, how do they know the search terms? How on earth would they know so many users searched for teacher shirt? So I kept asking Claude, how do they know this? Is there an API somewhere that we can call that could give us reliable information about search terms? But there was nothing. There's no API. There's no external tool that will allow you to see actual Etsy shopper search terms. So I kept thinking, how does Everbee show us counts? When you set up their Chrome extension, you authorize Everbee to look at all of the information that you are typing on any web page unless you change it. They can see all of your browsing history, all the sites you went to. Why would Everbee need permission to search your browsed pages? Like, why would they need that? Okay, let me ask this a different way. If I was trying to help sellers get insights into other sellers and I knew I couldn't get the actual customer search volume of the 19-ish million customers of Etsy's, what could I get? What would I have access to find that information? Etsy does release the number of listings that would come back from a search. So if you typed in teacher coffee shirt, Etsy has an API that you could call and send it teacher coffee shirt, and it would tell you almost 23,000 people. And you could also get the top 100 listings for that search. That's what I used to generate the competition section of the app that we've been working through. If we look at Everbee's number, it's very close. It's very close to the truth. And again, that is a number you can go poll through an API and you can get the response back right away. But what about the volume number? So Etsy Marketplace, this is the only place where you can find actual Etsy search terms. For every shop you have, you can search for 15 terms each week. I searched for teacher coffee shirt, and there's only been one search in the last 30 days for that term. One, not 195. I wonder how Everbee came up with 195 searches. Surely they aren't tracking sellers' searches with that little Chrome extension. In addition to this one search term, it gives me the results for that search and gives me 9 similar search terms that I can use and their volume. If you want to pay for Etsy Plus, you can get the 14 pages of results that it gives back unlocked. It's $10 a month and it's $19 cheaper than Everbee's price. And again, you would be getting actual, correct, factual Etsy search term searches. Let's try another keyword. How about teacher tote bag? Everbee says 700 searches with 55,000 listings returned, the competition. Etsy says 5,800 searches with 39,000 search results. The API returns 66. But I made another choice while developing this product and looking at the results. I asked Claude not to give me all the search results. I wanted the listings that would be newer, so less than 6 months old. He took a random sampling of those 100 listings that get returned with that API and did a sample, did some math, and came up with some fuzzy 6-month-old listings logic. So an estimate, but I haven't signed up for the $10 fee yet. Do y'all ever watch Tia TX? I'm going to link her channel in the description below. She's developed some tools for sellers to actually make the most of what you get back from Etsy search terms. So that's as good as it gets for Etsy. You either pay the $10 or you work with someone else who has found a way to maximize that information, or you pay for one of the search term tools that I really have no idea where they're getting those numbers from. What if you could figure out what people are searching in Google or in Amazon in those search boxes? So let me show you one free option that we have, and that is, which I'm sure you've heard from a bunch of other YouTubers before, is trends.google.com. And this shows you all of the all of the trending search terms. So if we did a search for vintage graphic t-shirt, you can select the time frame. If we go back 3 months, we can see that that was really popular going into summer, but is now flattened out. What's cool about this particular interface is that it also gives you other search terms that people have searched for that term. So we can see that the shift has moved away from vintage graphic t-shirt and more towards oversized graphic t-shirt. Another free option that you have is if you've ever signed up for Google Ads, which is free, you can use their keyword planner and it helps you look at search terms. But it only gives you like the search, like a range of how much that's been searched for. And I find it a little bit difficult to read and a little bit difficult to understand. And there's so many clicks that you have to go through to get to the keyword tool within Google Ads, but it is free. So that's it for free tools that I'm aware of. There aren't any APIs we can call. We can't use our fun make.com subscription now. We can't, there's just not many options there. But there is a tool that allows you to pull back results from Google and from Amazon, and it's called Data for SEO. And you may have heard about this as well from other users. That's how I heard about it, that you can sign up for a free account for Data for SEO, and you will get $1 worth of searches for free to try it out. And when I did a search for a Google keyword search, it was 9 cents. So it's about 10 cents, and it's about 5 cents to search for Amazon's keywords. So you can get a feel for it with $1 and see if you like it, if it gives you what you want. The way that the pricing works is you pay $50 and it will deduct from that $50 as you do searches. One issue is that this tool does not have a front end. So you can't just pay for this and then plug in a keyword and figure it out. You have to use an API. So now we're in the business of doing the same thing that we did last time, which is calling an API to automate the pulling of a keyword. And what's nice is that Claude can do all of this for you. You know, we've gotten to that point. All right, so now we're going to go through how to use Claude to get what you need. Last time we did our own make.com scenario, and we got the gist of how to use it and what each piece means. An easier way to do it is to come over to Claude. You can go into the customize button over on the left, and you can go to connectors, and then you can add a connection. And if you browse all of the connections, you can then search for make, and you can add this as a connector. So I already have this connected to my other, so I'm going to go back. So once you have this set up, all you have to do is say something like, please create a make.com scenario that calls the Etsy API that gives us the competition listings. Or, you know, use the make.com connection and, you know, build a data for SEO connector that's in there as well. So that's what I've done, is I've just added it to my listing tool. But all of this, I'll show you what I have, but all of this was done just by, working with Claude. So I just have like, let's see, teacher math shirt. And what it does is it goes and calls those APIs through data for SEO and brings back all of the results. And again, I didn't code all this. Claude did. I just am, asking for it. And I kind of know what I'm looking for. But this now I feel much better about how to list my product and know that I am kind of on trend with what is working and what people are buying. So you can do this as well. It's as simple as asking Claude to do it. So where does this leave us? Etsy's search volume is the only number that Etsy keeps private. They give you 15 lookups per week, per shop, and that is what you can count on as the source of truth. Everything else is somebody else's, dressed up dashboard trying to give you an estimated number. Google Trends tells you where demand is moving. We saw vintage graphic tee flattening out and oversized graphic tee climbing. That was all for free. And then there's places like Data for SEO that tell you what people are actually typing in other e-commerce places for search terms. For about 9-10 cents, I think I looked at my billing and I have spent 73 cents in 2 weeks looking up search terms for my listings. So Etsy's listing count API, the one that tells you how many listings would come back for a search term, that is free. You can figure that out, and that will help you understand how much volume there is, how many other sellers are competing in that space, which is very helpful to know. But if we paid the $10 a month for Etsy Plus and had that available to us, that might make the most sense. Maybe $50 for data for SEO gets you where you want to be as far as a low-cost option. Everbee wanted $29.99 a month to give data that is search term data that is way off. So here's your homework. Pick a best-selling listing that you have. Run the main keywords through Etsy search volume tool and look at what you have. What is the search volume for that? And then look at what Everbee tells you. Are they right or are they wrong? Are you using the right keywords for your listing? And you can just see how that difference is. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.